Broadcasting live from high atop Scott's social media studios in the heart of the Cedar City, just outside of America's Music City. This is SEC Football Review with your hosts, Michael Clay and Jared Scott. Take it away, Michael.
What's up, Jared?
How are you?
I'm doing good. You could cut that music if you'd like to.
You can actually get on to doing the show, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't hardly think. No, man, this is fun. It's been a long time.
Yeah, so can't believe that in the short little bit of time, I guess, that we haven't had a show, all of a sudden Vanderbilt is having a lot of success here, and it seemed that you were really excited about something that come up on the scoreboard.
Oh, yeah. It's been 4 years since I think you've done a show.
Oh, my gosh.
And so what a better time than to start doing an SEC football talk show when Vanderbilt's 2-0.
When was the last time that was, Michael?
Man.
I got to take a sip of my PBR here.
I'm going to say James Franklin. It may have been after that, but...
it might have been. You know, now that he's at Penn State, I mean, maybe he'll have a lot of success there. But, you know, that was good times at Vandy back then.
Oh, yeah. 2 seasons, 9-4. His first season, 6-6. That's the most wins I've ever seen in my lifetime in a 3-year span from Vanderbilt. But yeah, so they're 2-0. Won last week, and won like they're supposed to. I can't remember the last time they scored 55 points. And a little fun picture that people put out. I didn't go to the game. I wasn't there, but I see the picture, and it was they ran out of fireworks. They scored so much.
Let's see. Last time Vandy won. Last time Vanderbilt beat Tennessee was the first thing that comes up, of course.
I might have been at that game too.
Won the first 3 games? Because this will be their third win. Right. I mean,
well, no, let's don't count our chickens before they hatch.
Yeah.
No, I don't even like talking about it in that way.
I don't know. I can't remember. I know they were talking about, like, it's been a long time. I thought it was longer than Franklin, from when I remember the conversation. But
yeah,
it's good that Vandy's running out of fireworks.
Oh yeah, no, that's fun. Hopefully too, they go on the road this week. But hopefully scoring points will bring actual Vandy fans back to the games.
Well, you know, they said that they sold out on student tickets. I don't know if you knew about that.
For this Alcorn State, this last game?
For the last
or
game.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech game.
Yeah. That's a good thing. They hadn't done that probably since Franklin, for sure.
I would think so.
So, no, that's a good problem. They just need to finish the stadium, because I think right now it only holds 28,000. But once they get the stadium complete, it'll be more like, I think, 35, 36,000. I could be wrong, but
I don't want to spend the whole show talking about Vandy. I know you're a big Vandy fan, and I'm a Vandy alum. So I'm sure there's a lot of other folks in the SEC that say they don't want to hear about Vanderbilt. So speaking of, let's talk a little bit about what we saw this past little bit here.
We played him. We pulled our starters in the third quarter. We called off the dogs. We could have him eaten out of a tube if we wanted to.
I can't believe a Texas saying called off the dogs.
Do you know what an RPO is?
A what?
This makes no sense. He's the reigning national champion. You'd think he'd still be
That's not how it always goes. Believe you me.
that'll be short-lived.
Nickel State
Yeah.
took a bite out of us, but it's fine. Won by 3 touchdowns. Totally fine.
Gonna need to take a look at that rushing offense.
No, you don't.
We've got Michigan's yards of total offense scans back.
How bad is it?
We're reaching Rich Rodriguez stage.
Gonna need to act now. Tube it!
Oh, poor Michigan.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Welcome to the SEC, Texas.
Yeah. They're making us proud.
Making us proud. And then we sit here and we look at, this is a unique year, right? Because I guess this is something we need to talk about, adding Texas and Oklahoma to the mix. I know a lot of people have been watching games already for quite a while, and so they're like, oh, yeah, Texas, Oklahoma, that's old news. But I think it's a pretty big deal.
Oh yeah, yeah. So basically, I guess what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna get into it. Go down.
When I was trying to think, bringing them into the mix, that makes us what, 18 teams now?
No, 16.
16.
Yeah.
Is it Big Ten's got 18 teams? Is that what it is?
I believe so. I think because they added Oregon. It may just be 16. They added Oregon and, Oregon and Washington.
Nah, I don't know.
I can't remember.
Some of those Pac-12 folks that collapsed the league.
No, yeah. There's only like 5 or 6 in Pac 12 or Pac 4.
Pac-2.
Yeah.
I think it's Pac-2 now.
It may
I
may
think
go
it's like
away.
Oregon State, Washington State. That's been a big hot topic too, right? Is there something going to happen with the two of them? I think originally they were thinking they were going to get Mountain West to come into the.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I think Mountain West has said no on that. So
Yeah.
So now they're out there by themselves. There's been a lot of conversation lately, from what I've heard, that they're going to end up being independent, like Notre Dame is.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Well, and
I don't think they're going to get Notre Dame treatment as an independent.
no, and going to 12-team playoff, you don't want Notre Dame treatment because, as it is an independent, like no matter, of course, it's not going to be this year. Obviously, this past weekend Notre Dame lost, but if Notre Dame went undefeated, they still couldn't get a top 4 spot in the bye. The best they can do as an independent would be 5. And they could have the best team, but they wouldn't get a bye. And that's the new rule. And I don't know all the new.
I was hoping to have. I'm gonna see if I can't get my buddy Tom to call in. He and I were kind of touching on that, and I was hoping he'd talk a little bit about all the new rules around the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
He's kind of a guru when it comes to that stuff. I'm gonna text
Yeah,
him real quick.
there's a lot of new rules to the 12-team playoff, but I do know in an independent, so Oregon State would not want to go independent, in my opinion. But I think between Big Ten and SEC, maybe ACC, the top 4 spots are always going to be Big Ten and SEC schools more than likely.
Well, I don't know. You talk to a Notre Dame fan, they may have a different opinion of that one.
What I'm not. The rules are. It doesn't matter how good they cannot get a bye in the first round.
Oh, because
being
they're
an
not,
independent.
because they're not in a
I
conference.
know that's yeah. I know that is a rule, and I don't like you question me on that.
Oh, you don't. I bet you don't. You son of a. Oh.
I was late on it. I was looking for another one.
Thankfully, I was a good boy, and YouTube ain't gonna demonetize us or whatever they do. Anyway,
Because
so
we are making a lot of money.
all the no pennies that we're getting there. Okay. Anyway, so let's like you were saying, let's go start talking about these games. So next week's games coming up. Looking at Alabama versus Wisconsin, and I've not really kept up with where Wisconsin is. I mean, they're 2-0, but what does that really mean? Obviously, when we look down here at the matchup predictor, 92% for Bama. So I guess Wisconsin's 2-0 record is not that big of a deal. But this does bring up something that I was hoping you could talk a little bit about. So when we talk about like spreads and over-unders, right, I'm sitting here looking at, we got open with 16.5 for Vandy and 52.5 for how's this happen?
Well, first of all, we're looking at Alabama, Wisconsin. Vandy's nowhere to be found in this game. You just said Vandy.
Got Vandy on the mind.
No, yeah. Well, yeah, they're 2-0. Who's not thinking about them?
That's right. Everybody's 2-0 right now.
A few, not everybody.
Everybody in this game.
Everybody. Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
for now. So we'll see what somebody's going to be not 2-0 anymore.
The spread opened 16.5, and looks like it's been bet down. It's now at 16. So it's been bet down a half point. It dropped in Wisconsin's favor, which means Vegas is setting Alabama's going to win by at least about 16 points, 16, 17. And obviously you got the over-under. It's 50.5 is just the total points scored between both teams.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, so if you look at that, then Vegas is basically saying the score is going to be the total points is 50 and a half. So in Alabama by 16. So it would be, what's that?
It's too late at night to do math right now.
26 to, or 24 to.
Where's
10.
my calculator?
No, that's
Michael?
34. No, 34 to 10. 34 to 14, something like that.
I think I was actually a math teacher at one point, Michael.
Yeah.
I should be able to do this stuff. but,
34, 17. You taught math?
yeah, I did.
To who?
Oh, it was a bunch of high schoolers, so
Oh, my God. High school.
I'm good at algebra.
Did any of them graduate?
Yeah, a whole bunch of them graduated. Some of them, I had one student that ended up getting recognized with for the district or something. It's pretty good.
The crowd likes it.
They do. Okay, so when we look at this game, is there anything even here to talk about? I mean, when we took a look at Alabama's schedule, right? So Bama faced off against Western Kentucky, South Florida. Now they're facing off against Wisconsin. Is there anything even worth looking at here? I mean, this is kind of like, hey, here's one of the big teams. They're playing all these teams that are nobodies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a consistent pattern. This is what you and I were kind of touching on earlier, looking at how many teams we're playing that are out of conference that are really nobodies, right? It's a very, and clearly there's a reason for that, right? Because if you get a little punch in the face like Florida did.
Well, no, and now that Oklahoma and Texas have joined the SEC, you want to schedule. In my mind, you want to schedule lesser non-conference. Especially like if you were Florida, one of their out of conference is always going to be Florida State, right?
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, Miami was on the schedule of the first game this year.
Yeah, they got the
So
two
they're- yeah.
bookends there. You got
Yeah.
Miami to start and Florida State to end it. I mean, that's
Which I'd say in the future, in the upcoming years, Florida will change that. They can't change Florida State, but I bet they try to get out of Miami somehow.
and I'm trying to think. Let's see. Georgia faced off Clemson. I think that was expected to be a big game. But when we look at the rest of the schedule and the opening games, really not much to talk about here.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Texas A&M Notre Dame was a big game.
yeah, they're actually that first week was better than last week as far as big games. With you had Florida, Miami, Georgia, Clemson. You just said Texas A&M, Notre Dame.
Yep.
And we can't forget Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. That was huge.
That was huge.
And then you actually LSU, USC. So that was a pretty big week one. Last week kind of died down, and I think this week's kind of coming up as a dead week. What Alabama, Wisconsin sounds good, by name, two big schools, but I think Alabama, they are playing in Wisconsin, but I think Alabama probably covers the spread, 16. And I only say that because I really don't know what Wisconsin has this year.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? So looking back at that game, I mean, if you're a Bama fan, good for you. I think 16 points. I'll take Bama all day long.
You would take them to cover?
Oh yeah, I think so. Are you gonna play it conservative? You think?
No, I would take Alabama. It does make you a little nervous if you watch. Did you see any of the South Florida Alabama game?
Yeah, I mean they opened up weak, right?
Yeah, it was close going into the fourth quarter. And then Alabama just maybe late third. If I can't remember, I watched some of it for a little
I don't
bit.
think I
but
stayed on that long. I think I was watching something else.
it was close for into the third quarter pretty well, and maybe the start of the fourth, and then they broke it open. But I think they do win outright against Wisconsin. I think they cover the spread, but
We'll get our
I
neighborhood
wouldn't bet a lot on it.
Bama fan to join us on the call at some point in time during the season, but not today.
oh, no worries. So
Okay, looking
Move
on to the
on,
next
yeah.
one. We got an SEC matchup. South Carolina Gamecocks. That's old Beamer ball, isn't it?
yeah, Beamer Jr. I don't think he's
Jr.
actually a junior, but Yeah, they look pretty good. I watched the Kentucky game. And I don't know if they made Kentucky look bad or Kentucky's just not very good this year. The spread is LSU by 7, or it opened 8.5, and right now it is at 7. So that's been bet down. So that means people's been betting more on South Carolina.
Well, I mean, how strong is LSU this year? I mean, we're looking at a 50-50 on this.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of week 1 when they played not Notre Dame, when they played USC. I think they'll win. I don't know if they cover the spread. 7 points, and being in South Carolina, and they're pumped up at 2-0 right now. South Carolina is, especially coming out. They look pretty good coming off the win at Kentucky on the road. So anytime you win on the road in the SEC is pretty good, unless you're beating Vanderbilt on the road. But not this year.
Maybe
Not
that'll
this year.
change.
Yeah.
Don't speak so quick. Maybe
That's
that'll
right.
change.
So, yeah, I think LSU wins, but I don't think they cover the spread. I think it's a field goal.
LSU's still ranked. I mean, they're ranked number 16. So I'm trying to think when we look at like LSU, what they've already done. Have they played anybody significant?
Yeah, USC, and then they beat Nicholls State, which, I don't know if you're getting up for that game.
Well, and you could argue that should have been a blowout at 44-21. I'm not so sure that that's convincing enough.
Yeah, I didn't see the game. I don't know. Was it 44-0 going into the third quarter, and then
Yeah,
Nicholls,
maybe they put the third string in or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to that game.
And
so
I think USC beat them, but
yeah,
they haven't played anybody either, right? So we're still early in the season.
Yeah. But I think USC, what are they ranked right now? 11.
11.
Are they 11? Yeah. So I mean, that's not okay. Looking right there, that was third quarter. It was 37-21 in the third quarter.
It's still a little close.
Yeah.
Nicholls State. Nicholls.
Yeah.
I don't even know who
I
they
couldn't
are.
tell you where.
Do I even know who they are? I don't even know who they are.
I only know the name from March Madness in basketball. I think they've made the NCAA tournament.
Oh, they're the Colonels. Nicholls State Colonels. Nicholls Colonels. Nicholls. I don't know. Nicholls
Wow.
State. It is Nicholls
Yeah.
State. I don't know anything about them.
Maybe South Carolina. I don't know what state they're in.
They played Louisiana Tech. That was their other game.
And lost. Well, they never offered me a scholarship, so I don't really care about them.
They lost to Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope they lose all the games. I didn't ever get offered from them, so. The crowd loves
The
it.
crowd loves it.
Yeah.
Loves it. Okay.
So yeah,
So-
LSU.
Well, are we going to pick them while we go? Let's pick them while
Yeah,
we
let's
go.
pick
I
'em.
think, I think we pick them while we go. So we got the spread on this one. I think this was a tight spread for what it should be. I don't.
So you think LSU is going to beat them? Cover? I think LSU wins, but it's close. I think South Carolina covers the spread.
You think so?
Yep. I sure do.
Yeah. I'm gonna go balls to the wall.
Man.
You're supposed to
We
edit
need-
that, Mike.
Yeah, we need a delay.
Supposed to edit
I was
that.
late. Can't say that on
It's
live
YouTube,
stream.
man. It's YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna call it for South Carolina.
Okay, hold on. Win outright?
I think South Carolina's going to win it. I don't think they'll win it by a lot, but I think they're going to win it.
Oh.
So I'm going to give it to South because this is going to be at
It's
home
an
with South
underdog
Carolina.
pick.
Isn't
No,
it?
yeah, it is at South Carolina. So
And I remember, and I know it's not our old boy Spurrier anymore, but I do remember when we did. I went to a South Carolina game when he was coaching over there, and
they play UT.
I think it was UT South Carolina.
Yeah.
It's football time in South Carolina. So,
They said that.
oh yeah, Steve Spurrier, and it was Steve Spurrier who said it.
Yeah,
It was
so
his-
that's poking at UT.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
say.
oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
football time in South Carolina. So anyway, I'm gonna go Gamecock.
Okay.
This is not in LSU's Death Valley, so I'm gonna pick an underdog here. This will be my underdog.
Picking South Carolina to be 3-0 and 2-0 in the conference.
Yep.
All right, I like it.
Yep.
I mean, I think LSU's going to win, but
You pick
All right,
what
good
you
deal.
you pick your
Yeah.
pick. Okay, going on.
moving on.
Okay, Missouri
got
Tigers versus Boston College. Boston College is ranked 24.
Yeah. You could say this is the biggest matchup of the week. I don't know.
You think so?
Just ranking wise, two ranked.
Oh, two
teams.
ranked teams facing off against
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
As far as SEC, I don't know about the.
I mean, looking at Boston College's schedule, right? So Florida State was expected to be something, and they turned out to be nothing. Is
Yeah. So how impressive is that now?
that- well,
I don't know.
how good is that win? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they faced off against another team that I've never heard of, Duquesne.
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 Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you where they're at. Northeast school, maybe.
Nah, I have no clue. This is what I was talking about, man. I feel like the SEC conference schedule, we're playing a bunch of teams I've never even heard of.
Well, no, that was Boston College that played Duquesne. They're not SEC.
Oh, they're not SEC. I know, I'm slacking.
Whiz.
I'm slacking.
This is supposed to be an SEC football talk show, and you don't even know who's in the SEC.
Don't even know who's in the SEC.
My gosh. Who brought this? I love that little.
Okay.
That's fun.
But Missouri is ranked number 6.
Yeah.
And I did watch one of their games. I was not impressed.
Okay.
Have you been impressed with Missouri?
No. And I don't think, speaking of who they played, who have they played? They're 2-0. But national media, the media is talking them up like they could be something.
I know.
Like
They're
a
talking
dark
like they're
horse.
going to be the SEC champion or something.
Yeah. Who have they played?
Let's see here. They played Missouri State,
Huh.
and they played Buffalo.
What was the Missouri State score?
51-0.
And then 38-0.
So this was, this goes back to that SEC shorts. They had an SEC shorts where they were having a pizza party celebrating all the touchdowns, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. So, I mean, once again, we're playing teams that are nobodies, and then
But-
we're scoring 60-something points
Yeah.
on them. And I think that Missouri actually set the standard with 50-something. And then Tennessee came in and scored like 60-something or 70-something. And then all of a sudden, everybody
I think
had
Tennessee's
to score.
legit this year, but we'll get to them
We'll
in
get
a
to them
minute.
in a minute. But
So what's the spread on this Missouri Boston College?
16. I think
They're
I'll take,
favored, and it's at Missouri.
Yeah, I'll take Missouri on this. I think they're going to.
You just said you didn't think they had anything, and now you're going to take them to cover 16.
But they're covering Boston College.
They're ranked 24th. You think they're going to fall out after this?
Dude, we just talked about the losers they played.
Well, look, so and I don't. Okay, there's a difference between Missouri winning and covering the spread, right?
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Well, so are you saying they're covering the 16 point?
I don't know.
Well, that's what we need to know. That's what everybody's waiting on.
Is that what everybody's waiting
Yeah,
on?
they're hanging on.
I don't think they care what I have to say, but they do care what you have to say.
No,
What are you thinking?
I think Boston College keeps it close, under 16.
Oh, wow.
I want Missouri to prove themselves to me.
You don't think Missouri's going to cover the spread, huh?
They're going to win by 15. That's still not covering the spread.
Well, I'll pick opposition to you. How about that?
Okay, so you're going. They're going to cover
I'll say they'll cover by 1. How about that?
17.
Since you just said, you just said they won't cover by 1, so I'll say they cover by 1. It's like the
Okay.
what was that show? That game show where everybody you just pick the last person picks $1.
$1. Yeah, Price is Right.
This is right. That's it.
Yeah, that show.
Last person.
I can understand why you couldn't remember that show. It didn't do too well through the years. Who forgets the Price is Right? Yeah, thank you.
What was the other one though? Here, hit that other one. What's the other one? There it is. That one. Right
Oh,
there.
they get real good.
Oh yeah.
Listen. Yeah. Yeah, let's clap it up. Yeah,
But we'll be 1 over, 1 under. How about that?
All
There
right.
we go.
I would like to see this game just because I don't, and I think this about every year, probably every year since they've come into the SEC, I kind of have my doubts every year about Missouri.
Seems
So
like there was a year where Missouri was the shocker for Tennessee. I think Missouri like beat
their
Tennessee,
first
and then
year
all of a
in the
sudden were
when they
something,
came into
something.
the league, Missouri, I want to say their first year they like almost won the SEC East. They had a really good first year when they joined.
Oh, that brings up another topic: the fact that we don't have divisions anymore.
I know it.
I'm not sure how that's all going to fall out, but kind of have a softy for the past.
Oh yeah. Well, we're old. We're getting old.
We're getting old. We're old school.
We
can't
don't
deal
like
with these
change.
New things. Don't like these new
Yeah,
things.
yeah. New technology.
New fandangoed.
16 teams.
So
This
then
is
it'll be
stupid.
then it'll be the stupidity of Georgia versus Alabama every year. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll even go back. I can remember I didn't like it when Arkansas and South Carolina joined.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
going way back.
I went, I want to say it was around 92 when they joined. In 91, they had the SEC basketball tournament. And it was everybody but those two at Memorial.
So let's see here. Faced with
Yeah.
the task conference realignment, that was 1990. That would have been pre-SEC for me. I got into SEC football when I went to Tennessee. So
Yeah, but it wasn't 90, 91 is when they actually, fall 91 is when they started. Right? Yeah, okay. So it was 1990 when the
1990 is
SEC,
when they signed the deal.
yeah. And I went to the SEC basketball tournament in 1990 at Memorial Gym the
Oh,
year before
man.
they joined.
That's going way back.
Yeah, it was awesome. But this is a football show. Why are you bringing up basketball? So
Where's that wah wah?
oh, man. We gotta get the good ones off.
I know it.
Oh no, we don't. That wasn't crickets.
Oh, okay.
It
No
went
more.
aw-
The
it went
crickets,
away.
They won't go away. They won't go away.
You gotta get the bug man out here, and I know one. I know a good bug man. Who did that?
Okay, Michael. So moving on to the next game because
Yeah, let's move on. We gotta get these.
start getting
There's
this
a lot
show
of
on.
games left.
There's a lot of games left. Okay, so Oklahoma. Thankful to have Oklahoma as part of the conference. It's going to make it
There it is. All right.
a lot more interesting in the conference. But it also means that now we're playing Tulane. Now Tulane used to be an SEC team. Way back, I thought. Man.
Maybe I can remember them playing Vandy in the early mid '80s, early to mid '80s.
See, Tulane joined
Oh,
the
there you
SEC
go.
in 1932. Called it home till 1965. So left
You know,
in
I
65.
wish Tulane. That's who I wish. I like the Green Wave. I like their uniforms. That green. I wish they were still in the SEC.
Would they have be able to be competitive? They would. I guess they would make Vanderbilt not be the last one in the conference.
Yeah, it would give somebody. Although in the '80s, I think one year I remember I thought, oh, they're gonna win. I was just a wee kid, but I was watching the game. I think Tulane beat the crap out of Vandy, like
did they?
86 maybe. But okay, it's Tulane, Oklahoma. Tulane actually played Kansas State pretty tough. I thought they were going to win last week, so I don't know that this would be a walk in the park for Oklahoma. And I think Oklahoma did struggle last week with who they played.
Okay, I'm going to pick that Oklahoma does not cover the spread. I'm going to be a Debbie Downer for Oklahoma.
I am too, actually. I'm going to hold your hand on that. And
We're going to hold hands, Michael?
Yeah, you want me to get real crazy? Let's say I am going to get crazy. I think Tulane upsets them. They were close last week with Kansas State.
No, they're ranked number 15.
Well, Kansas State was 14 last week, and Tulane lost by a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
And they were up in that game. The reason I know this is because I bet Kansas State last week, and I don't think they covered the spread for me.
Oh wow, so you lost your bet on it.
Yeah, I'm like $3 or something. I don't bet big.
Oklahoma's played Temple and Houston. And Houston, they just barely won 16-12.
I'm going Tulane outright upset
Wow.
because I don't
So you're
think
not even
Oklahoma.
picking spread. You're picking they're going to win.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
Well, and if you look, like I'm looking at Houston's schedule, Houston lost to UNLV 27-7. And
Yeah.
they lost to UCF 27-13, and then they just barely lost to Oklahoma. You may be right here. This may be your wonder pick of the week.
yeah, I'm going to go Tulane outright. I definitely cover the spread. I'm not saying go bet them. That's the Oklahoma fans. They're going, what?
They're going what? Yeah, because that's what they're going to be getting from the Michael the Claymeister.
So we'll see.
That'll be a big pick right there. That's going to be a big
Yeah.
win for you. I'm kind of playing it safe, I guess. Okay.
But look, I will say, don't listen to me. Don't go out and put your house on Tulane. I'm not responsible when Oklahoma beats them 82-3.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, who knows? You never
No,
know.
no.
This is
But
football.
I don't have, as much as I said I'm not a,
77% probability, though. I don't see that
Yeah.
happening.
well, that's just people going, oh, it's Tulane.
Well.
Oklahoma beat them.
Oklahoma's always been treated like a wonder child. So
Yeah.
wait till they get to playing
I'm
some.
going to wear green Saturday.
Wait till they get playing some real SEC ball.
Yeah, I think they're not going to do well in the SEC this year.
Oklahoma and Texas both haven't gotten to playing some SEC ball. Although Texas
I
did
was
a good
gonna-
whipping
I'm
on,
not gonna-
on Alabama last year. So maybe.
I'm not talking bad about Texas. I think
Speaking
they're
of
going to
moving
be.
on, let's talk
Yeah.
about that game. No, this is
Nope.
the other Texas
Yeah.
A&M, and this is going to be Texas A&M versus the Gators. And man, this is closer than I had anticipated.
That's crazy. It's saying I got to check my football playbook, my Michael Vick football playbook.
Michael,
He and I are.
Michael, I remember back in the day you used to bring a newspaper, but I guess
Yes.
the newspaper just ain't covering college football no
No,
more, right?
no, and it's sad. It's upsetting to me.
There's a reason why newspapers going out of business because
Yeah,
they ain't
that's
covering
exactly
college
right.
football no
I
more.
went last week to check the spreads. I bought a paper for the sports page, and there were NFL games, but there were no college games. So I had to turn to other places, and I turned to Michael Vick.
Michael Vick.
It's pretty scary.
Ooh, that is scary. That is
No,
scary.
I like Michael Vick. So far this book has done me well. But anyway, yeah, I can't believe at home. Is it at Florida?
Yeah, it's at Florida. It's going.
They're
gonna be in the
3.5 point
swamp.
underdogs at home.
Well, Florida's struggling. I was thinking that Feinbaum was talking about how they may end up not having a coach anymore, and
Yeah.
Spurrier was already making comments about how he's going to have to make changes. So that may be a hot seat item there.
Yeah. What are they? They won last week, but I don't think they played anybody, did they?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember
Hang
either.
on, I'll look it up.
But yeah, 3.5 at home. They're so Texas A&M's favored on the road. I watched Texas A&M Notre Dame.
Yeah, they played Samford,
Okay, that's
another school. I don't know where they're located. So
that's in Alabama, I believe.
we need to get Reagan on here. He knows where all the schools are, and he knows what all the mascots are. That's the important part. He knows all the mascots.
That's impressive.
He knows all of them.
Yeah. Well, I knew they were Bulldogs. I did know that.
We'll have Reagan call in. He knows them all. He'll just talk craziness.
They're either Alabama or Georgia. I think it's Alabama, but I don't know.
Is Samford the one that ended up getting Cumberland University's School of Law? I think it was.
Didn't he have a son?
Samford.
Oh, that's Sanford, not Sam.
We should have had that music lined up for that one there.
Yeah. Yeah. So Florida played nobody last week. I I would like to take the 3.5 in Florida, but I don't know. Vegas is usually right.
Let's see here. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's old school right there.
Yeah, it is.
Little Sanford and Son, baby.
I like it. Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah. So Florida put it to Sanford, 45-7. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know because
I knew I could find it.
I did like the way Texas A&M played against Notre Dame, but then you look at what Notre Dame did last week against Northern Illinois. They got beat. Do you even watch college football?
Notre
you know
Dame.
that?
Notre Dame makes me sick to my stomach
Why?
because I feel like they get special treatment.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I
They
just-
have for my whole life.
I can't stand special treatment people, and I'm sure that the Pope has made sure that they always get special treatment. But
Is that saying Northern Illinois is ranked 25 now?
they are because they beat Notre Dame because Notre Dame gets special treatment.
But they dropped. Was that scary?
That's scary.
Yeah.
Because the
No.
Pope's going to make sure that Notre Dame gets special treatment.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I kind of lean Florida. Like I said, before this past week, I would have said Texas A&M for sure covers, even at Florida, but I'm not sure.
How the idea that Northern Illinois is ranked number 25.
Well, beating Notre Dame helps.
So let's see, who else did they play? Western Illinois. Northern Illinois played Western Illinois.
And there's an Eastern and a Southern.
But they will play NC State. And if I remember correctly, somebody's already whipped up on NC State. So,
Oh, yeah.
okie dokie. Well, you ready to move on to the next one?
Well, hold on. Who are you taking in this?
Who am I picking?
I wouldn't put any money on this one way or the other.
I was just too tight.
For me, I'm unsure.
Well, I've heard lots of stories. I really would love to see a game in the swamp.
Oh, yeah.
But I've heard a lot of stories about playing in the swamp. This is one of the things about the SEC when we start talking about folks playing home game versus away game,
Yeah.
right? Same kind of thing about going to Aggie country with the 12th
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So with it being the Gators in the swamp, even though the Gators are down, I feel like this is a must win for them, right? I mean,
If the players like their coach, they'll play for him.
that's right.
If they want him gone, look
Right.
out.
And so this is one of those hot seat games in my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something here, but I really feel like this may be a hot seat game. And now I don't know that they'd let him go this early in the season. I feel like it's probably too early for doing that. But
Yeah, not right off. If he loses a couple more, he might be gone. So you're going to take Florida?
yeah, I think I'm gonna take Florida. Billy Napier, that's who it was.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember
So
who their coach was.
do you take them just to cover the? Because here's the thing: they lose by 3, you still cover.
Yeah, I mean this is such a close game.
It's almost a pick.
I'm gonna take them to cover.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy Napier is from Cookeville, Tennessee.
Is he really?
I did not know that. Did you know that?
No.
Interesting. Did not know
I
that.
didn't know him. He lived an hour and a half away. My God, he's a year younger than me.
Yeah, we did something wrong there, brother.
Huh.
I need to go get another PBR now that I know that.
Well, he's not winning games, so it isn't like he's that great.
He was at Louisiana. When they say he's at Louisiana, that's Raging Cajuns. So
Yeah, which used to be University of Louisiana Lafayette. They just took Lafayette out of there.
They want to be special.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to be like LSU,
Which, if you're from Tennessee, you say Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Yeah, you do. Get your hands off. Oh yeah, they should laugh at that. Sorry, y'all should laugh. That was a good one.
I was just making sure we had the right button there.
Yeah.
That is a Tennessee thing, though. Lafayette.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. I'll take Florida in the points. Texas A&M may win, but I'll take Florida in the points. Even though it definitely isn't your Steve Spurrier Floridas anymore, but it's still got to be hard to win there.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be hard to win in the Swamp.
Yeah.
And
We agree.
I'm trying to think if A&M really has had anything that was something special so far. I don't know that they have. I can't remember other than the Notre Dame game.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, they didn't even really. I felt like that wasn't even as close as it should have been. Notre
Yeah.
Dame just didn't look that impressive to me. I think I watched a lot of that game. I just was not impressed with Notre Dame.
Yeah. All right. So then Florida for sure.
So, and if we were East-West, this would be a big game
Yeah.
because I think A&M weren't they? No, I guess they wouldn't.
Well,
They would have been
now-
West.
Yeah, they were West Conference. West. Yeah. So it wouldn't matter
It
as
wouldn't
much.
matter. Yep. Okay, you want to move on now?
Yeah. Yeah. Florida for sure.
Okay,
Oh
so
God, this one.
this one, I
is
don't even know if
be
we need
easy.
to talk about this one. Although, you never know, right?
Yeah.
Arkansas, they're 1-1. Is that right?
Yeah, well, they just lost to a decent team this past week. Oklahoma State, I believe it was. It was close, actually. They should have won. They lost in overtime. I can't remember the score, but they did lose in overtime.
And Oklahoma State is ranked.
Yeah.
So then they played Arkansas Pine Bluff. Is that right?
Yeah. That's a kindergarten school.
So they're kindergarten school. I always referred to it as playing a high school. I don't know about a kindergarten school.
Well, I used to say the blind school, but I don't know. That could be
Yeah, that's
offensive now.
Yeah, I think that's.
That's what my dad always said, but he's old in them old ways. The blind school.
Was it the Nashville School for the Blind?
Yeah, I just went by there the other day.
Who was it that somebody was riding with me in the car and they go, "Oh, look, that sign says it's the Nashville School for the Blind. So if I was blind, that sign really." I know it didn't deserve a laugh, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't. Deserve
Yeah,
a
that
laugh.
was bad.
That was bad. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, so Arkansas, they're favored, only favored by 23. They'll cover, they'll blow UAB out. Yeah, because UAB,
Yeah, because they played
they
Oklahoma
just
State
lost.
tight.
Yeah. So UAB lost last week to Louisiana Monroe. And, yeah, so, and yeah, it's right there, Jared. You don't have to go clicking
have
and
to look
looking
in.
somewhere else.
I don't have to look. Gotcha.
Golly. And you taught high schoolers math.
I know it. I know it.
My goodness. So, yeah, moving on. Arkansas wins. Have fun with that. Sue Pig or whatever
they're
they
gonna Suey. It's
say.
Suey.
Suey Pig.
Suey. You've never been to an Arkansas game, have you?
Yeah, I have. I just can't remember. I've
It
heard
was
it.
painful.
Yeah.
I was at that Arkansas game when Tennessee went to the national championship, and that was
Sterner, Clint dropped the ball. Y'all paid him. didn't
that
you?
last little bit of that game, man. That was up, down, and it was pouring rain.
Yeah. Yeah, Clint Sterner put the ball on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
How much did UT pay him to do that?
I don't know, but that was what if we had lost that game, that wouldn't have been
Yeah,
the
you
national
wouldn't-
championship
no,
season, and
not
that
at
was
all.
the closest game of the whole year.
Yeah.
That was a nail
All
biter.
right, move on from Arkansas. We're done with them.
Okay, Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin. A lot of people talking big talk about Lane Kiffin. I mean, they got him ranked number 5 right now.
No, and I like Missouri. I don't know about Ole Miss. I think I'm just still.
I feel pretty good
mad
about Ole
from
Miss.
years ago
Yeah,
at
you're
Ole
you're
Miss.
bitter. You're bitter.
And you want to know
I
why?
should be bitter too because Lane Kiffin screwed Tennessee over. So I should. Really be
Well, they
bitter.
probably deserved it. I say that I take a dig at Tennessee, but you want to know why? Like I kind of sometimes always hope, and I do actually like Lane Kiffin. Not to make UT fans mad, but reason why I don't like Ole Miss.
Oh, I
is
like Lane Kiffin too,
because-
other than the fact that he screwed Tennessee over.
Well, Ole Miss screwed David Cutcliffe, an old Tennessee boy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
They got
Cut-
rid of him. They were
He was a great offensive coordinator for Tennessee.
yes. Well, he was head coach.
And then he was rock star at Duke.
Well, he was 10-3 with Eli Manning. Eli graduates, and then the next year I think they went 6-6, and they fired him, or 6-5, or
Was
whatever.
he only there 2 years?
Yeah, 3 at the most. But it went 10-3 with Manning. The very next year they were down, which you lose Eli Manning, it is going to be tough to
gonna
recover.
happen.
You need a year or two. And then they got rid of him. I didn't like that at all. They didn't give him enough time.
You thought they did him bad.
And then look what he did at Duke.
he
like,
did big things. at
Great
Duke.
coach. So I hope they're not going to.
Well, I think Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee. I thought Tennessee took him back. Tennessee.
Yeah,
took
they
him
did.
Back. Yep.
Yeah.
They took him back 2006-07, and then Duke.
Oh, so
hired
he
him
was at
away.
Ole Miss for 4 years. No.
He was at Ole Miss for a long time.
God, why did it only? I was still mad at him. How about that?
I don't know why
So-
you were thinking he was. I didn't realize he was there that long.
I only
but,
thought he was there. Yeah, 6 years.
But I mean, Kiffin has put Ole Miss on the map. I mean, Ole Miss was.
Yeah, yeah. No,
They were
Kiffin's
the
a good
equivalent
coach.
of a Duke, right? So, and I'm not bemoaning Duke. You know, I love Duke and everything, but
That's my moan.
is it?
Yeah, you don't have one. Of those, yeah. Did that miss? Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
But I mean, so when we look at Ole Miss, right? I mean, they beat up on Middle Tennessee State, and then that's old boy from Vandy's our old coach at Vandy.
Yeah, he can't coach himself out of a paper bag. That's what
They're
I think
paying him
about
$1 million
Derek.
a year at MTSU.
Well, he's robbing them.
Well,
And I think
was
Derek Mason's
hopeful-
a good dude,
I
but
was
he's not
hopeful
a
that
good
Mason
coach.
was going to do something big at MTSU, but I'm starting to wonder now.
I don't know. No.
They think he is. You go down to Murfreesboro, man, they got signs for him all over the place.
Well, they'll be running him off next year, I bet you.
Stockstill was there for a long time.
Yeah, they'll run. Yeah,
Anyway, this is an SEC show. I shouldn't be
Yeah.
talking about this.
yeah. We're not talking about the Sun Belt. Why are you bringing the Sun Belt? Who cares about? Are they even in the Sun Belt anymore?
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
thought they were Conference USA.
Oh, maybe it is. Well, we're not talking about them either. So Ole Miss, man, they are 22.5-point favorites at Wake Forest. I don't know what Wake has. They've gotten better, not great, but I'd say Ole Miss definitely wins. They like to put a lot of points. If Wake doesn't have a defense, then they will.
So Wake played Virginia. Is that right? Virginia and North Carolina A&T.
Yeah. I think it's was that HBCU, historically black college or university?
I don't know.
It is. I do know. I'm telling you. I don't
Okay.
think I know.
Thank you for telling me.
Yeah. Taught algebra. Good God.
I know. Those poor students. Wah, wah, wah.
So, yeah. I mean,
Virginia beat Wake Forest 31-30.
yeah, I think Ole Miss, they probably, I don't know if they cover, but I wouldn't bet one way or the other.
22
'cause
points. That's a
They
lot.
can score, yeah. Kiffin's going to score. So I just don't know what Wake has.
Yeah, their defense.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick Kiffin to cover
the 22.5, yeah, and they could,
because
even though it's a road game.
yeah. I don't.
But
care
I
what it
think
is.
I still don't buy fifth in the country, and I want to see what they do when they get in the SEC.
Yeah, I don't see fifth in the country either.
But we'll see, maybe.
We'll see.
Uh,
Okay, moving on. Do we even want to talk about this game?
Texas, no, they'll kill.
1.2%.
That's probably the University of Texas San Antonio's head coach and his wife are picking the win, and then the 98.8% is everyone else in the world.
Well, I mean, they're 1-1. So who did they
They're
beat?
awful.
They're road runners. I mean, they should be able to do
They
something.
beat Gladewell Elementary, and it was close. It was 31-6.
Kennesaw State.
Might as well said Gladewell Elementary. And they only beat them 28-16.
They
Yeah.
lost. They lost to Texas State.
Yeah, and Texas State, I think, is. I checked it earlier. I'm not going to check it now because it'd be rude, but I think I'm going to lose a bet. I think Texas State must be decent. I picked Arizona State to cover the spread.
Interesting.
and I think they're
Oh wow,
well,
that's
it's
going
still
on right
tied.
now.
Yeah, I know. I got a
Tied
parlay.
up 21-21.
That's part
Is
of
this
my
your parlay that you were doing?
Yeah, I did tonight's game and I think Kansas State game tomorrow. I parlayed them.
I always pictured Arizona State as being a pretty good school, but
Yeah,
whatever. Apparently not.
I've been to their campus.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
I did.
Was that they're the Devils, right?
Yeah, Sun Devil. Is it Sun Devil? Yeah.
21-20, they're tied
But
up.
yeah, Texas kills whoever. What is it? UTSA, University of Texas, San Antonio. Yeah, they'll kill them. The spread's what? 35.5.
You think they're going to cover the spread?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like Texas.
I'm going to pick Texas to cover the spread against everybody but the SEC. I mean, they look
Man.
really good against Michigan.
Yeah. Now, this is where I'm.
Even in the face with all the SEC or all the ESPN guys were talking up Michigan like they were something.
Yeah. Now, like Oklahoma, I'm not big on them in the SEC this year. I think they're going to struggle, but I do think Texas is for real. And I think they're going to do. I don't know that they
Were
go
they ranked number
undefeated.
2?
Yeah, I think they do some things. They may
So
lose.
is this
one
going to
game.
be a Texas versus Georgia national championship?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot of games still to be played
yeah.
on that one.
Texas covers and wins and everything else. The over is 54.5. So yeah, they'll
Okay.
even do that. They'll score 54 by themselves.
Yep. Okay. Here we
All
go.
right. Oh, finally a game that matters in the world.
Matters in your world.
Yeah,
Georgia State
I know. We finally got there. Sorry, took us a while.
will be a 3-0 record after this game.
So,
Now, here's the deal. Vandy is notorious for not being prepared or for figuring out a way to lose games.
Well,
so
that's why I
hopefully
was-
that era is behind us. But I tell you, one of those games with Vandy made me nervous again. Right there at the end again, I'm like, oh my gosh, we winning at the last minute.
So, you talk about same old Vandy through the years. This would be, and I know it's Georgia State, but they're actually going on the road. They're playing at Georgia State, and it's in Atlanta. So same old Vandy will go down there and lose, but I don't think it's same old Vandy. That's what would happen, if this
It
is
was
same
that
old Vandy.
Virginia Tech game that was the last minute to win it. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
they won in overtime. But they would have lost if they were same old Vandy. So, I don't get too
Well,
excited.
they blew out Alcorn State, and I don't know that I've ever seen Vandy blow out anybody by 50-something points.
I think
This is like the first time in 100 years or something.
first time since like they beat Chattanooga like 62-3 one, and I think in like 02 or something. But yeah, they're doing what they're supposed to and not what they normally do. Because normally they would have lost the game to Virginia Tech in overtime and beat Alcorn State 17-13.
Yeah, it would have been a
And
close
then
game.
go down to Georgia State and get beat.
Well, this is the new coach, right? Is this his first
But,
season? I'm trying to
No,
remember.
Clark Lee, this is his 4th year. But he's finally getting I think he got left with the crap. And now,
He was born in Nashville, too.
he played at Vandy. He went to,
I knew he played at Vandy. I didn't realize
what
he
high
was
school
born.
here? David Lipscomb? He went somewhere at high school here in Nashville.
He started coaching at Vandy in 21, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That was when our boy Derek Mason went down to MTSU. No, he took us hiatus for a couple years, didn't he?
He was at Auburn and a couple other little schools, defensive coordinator. No, I think they win. Spread's only 10.5 though. What does that tell you? It makes me nervous. Vegas knows something. I'm serious, right? 10.5.
That's a pretty tight spread.
Well, because they know same old Vandy. That's what Vegas
they're
knows.
thinking. That's what
No, I
Vegas is
guarantee it.
thinking. Yeah, but I mean, Vandy also beat Alcorn State by 55, and it was a 55 to goose egg.
Speaking of Alcorn State, there was also Steve McNair played there. That's where he went to college.
Steve McNair played
Mm-hmm.
at Alcorn State. You're kidding me?
No,
Interesting.
why would I kid you?
I don't know. I just said it. That's just
I mean,
a phrase. It's
you
just a
should-
saying. It's just a saying.
But
good
Jared,
Lord.
you grew up here, and I don't know if you remember. Steve
should
McNair
know.
was a quarterback for the Titans. Do you remember
Yeah, I
that?
know who Steve McNair
Do you remember
is.
Nashville has an NFL team?
Yes, I know who Steve McNair is. I remember Steve and Eddie. I watched a lot of them games. I was at those games.
Yeah. How did you not know he went to Alcorn State?
I didn't know that's where he went to school at. No.
Now, like if we lived in Nebraska, I would not expect you to know that Steve McNair went to Alcorn
Apparently,
State.
he's the most famous Alcorn State alum.
Well, yeah. Who else? I
Oh,
couldn't
Alex
t-
Haley is pretty. He's a pretty impressive dude.
Would he teach algebra?
No, he wrote a book.
You know him?
Michael Clark Duncan.
Oh. Ooh.
Some big names went to Alcorn State.
So who's bigger, Steve McNair or Michael Clark Duncan? Well, physically, Michael Clark Duncan is, but
Yeah, I mean Michael Clark Duncan.
Green Mile.
He was Green Mile. He
Yeah.
was in a whole bunch of stuff, wasn't he? What was it seemed like he was some other.
yeah, he's been in a lot. The
Oh,
Green
so-
Mile was his big deal.
Yeah, that was his.
So
big
yeah,
one.
who do you think's more famous?
I think Steve McNair is by far more famous. Although I saw Eddie George in. I was working a project with one of my former employers, and I was in Cleveland. I had to fly into Cleveland.
Tennessee?
And no, Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, there's another.
There's another Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Michael, you know, I think if you say Cleveland, I don't think people think of Cleveland, Tennessee. You gotta let that finish out. Let them laugh, let them clap a little bit.
Yeah, y'all can laugh some more. That is pretty funny. Y'all just laugh it up.
But you know, I saw him at it was Cleveland, Ohio, right? And if I
They're
remember
still
correctly,
laughing.
if I remember correctly, Eddie was the Heisman Trophy winner from Ohio State.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And so I'm up there, went for this project, and I think the project was in Youngstown. But I'm sitting there at the bar at the airport, and I look over and I swear I'm like, man, this guy looks just like Eddie George. And I pulled the bartender over and said, hey, that guy looks like Eddie George. You think that's Eddie George? Bartender in Cleveland, Ohio goes, who's Eddie George?
Oh my God.
I'm like, who are you?
You didn't tip him, did you?
No, I didn't take it.
Okay, well,
he
he-
didn't get a tip. I should have left
Yeah.
a penny just to be up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I walked over. I got my picture with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Got my picture with him.
And the bartender's like,
The bartender's
he
like,
getting a
"Why is he
picture with that
guy?" Then I had to explain to everybody at the bar who Eddie George was, and that
you mean nobody at that bar knew who Eddie George was?
I'm like, that's Eddie George, and they're like, everybody's looking at me like, should I know who that person is? Like the guy next to me is like, should I know who that guy was? I'm like, yeah. Heisman Trophy winner, best
My-
running back
in
ever in
Ohio.
the history. That's in Ohio. Like,
Again,
he
like
should have been.
if you were in Montana, an airport in Montana, okay.
Okay, I could see
That's
people
fine.
not knowing
I
who
got
Eddie
that.
George is, but if you're in Ohio, you should know who Eddie George is.
Yeah. Just like you should. Well, yeah, you should have known that McNair went to Alcorn State. Even though, do you even know where Alcorn State is?
I don't know where Alcorn State is. That's why I had to look
Mississippi.
it up.
It's in Mississippi.
Oh, now I know. And knowing is half the battle.
So yeah, Vandy, I think wins. Gosh, I hope they covered. 10
Alex
points.
Haley was the one that wrote the book Roots, by the way. That's the other one that's famous. So that's a pretty big name.
Yeah,
book,
yeah,
dumb book.
that's a big. You're right. I didn't read. I mean, I can read, but I didn't read it.
Yeah. So
can't-
apparently I
I
can't
can't.
remember nothing because I'm a teacher that teaches math but doesn't know how to do math. Okay, go on. Let's go on.
What do you
So
think?
what are we
Vandy?
covering on this? I
10
think
and a half.
I think Vandy's going to cover this easy. I think they're going to blow them out.
Yeah,
It's going to be a big
and
game.
looking, it opened 9.5, so it's bumped up to 10.5. So
Yeah,
people
it's
are
gonna-
putting money.
People
on Vandy.
putting, yeah, and honestly, I think this would be if you were looking for a bet, this is the bet to go with in my mind.
Oh.
Don't you think so?
It's always Vanderbilt. You never know, but I feel. Yeah, you never know.
You just got done saying you felt like this was a new time, a new
It
era.
is. But again, I also know my history with Vanderbilt. It's like
They got a new stadium. New stadiums
Vanderbilt
always help things.
it's like a girlfriend that keeps cheating on you, but you still go back to her, going, well, maybe this is the year she doesn't cheat on me for a year.
Oh, you speaking from experience there, Michael?
No, I'm just with Vanderbilt. Yeah, they've let me down so many times.
They've cheated on you too many times. huh?
Yeah, yeah.
So Georgia State just barely beat Chattanooga 24-21.
Which makes me think.
Georgia State lost to Georgia Tech, although Georgia Tech looked pretty impressive if I remember
I know.
correctly.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Georgia State lost to Georgia Tech 12-35. So I'm picking Vandy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go all in on Vandy. This will be my big win game for the week.
Oh, you're going out on a limb with this one.
I'm believing in my doors. Anchor down. Play the
Me
horn.
too.
Play the foghorn. Where's that foghorn sound?
Foghorn, Leghorn.
We gotta have that.
Do we
foghorn
have
sound.
one?
No, but I need to put one on the board.
Yeah, you do.
Let's see. What's that? Because isn't it the Commodore's
Well, here I'll
boat
give
sound?
you. I'll give you this for now.
Let's see. What is it? The touchdown horn?
Yeah,
These mushrooms make you feel
No, mushrooms make you feel commercials.
yeah. Quit doing that. So yeah, moving on because we're going on.
We're going
just a
on too
bit
long.
over an
Okay,
hour.
come on. Georgia, Kentucky. Now we're starting to get into the ones that are that matter, right? 7% think Kentucky's going to win this, and this one really
Yeah,
matters.
this doesn't matter. Georgia kills them. Spread's just 22.5.
I want to get my boy Brian on here. I'm gonna pick Georgia to beat the spread easily.
Yeah. I'll take them to cover until Georgia proves me
Proves otherwise.
otherwise. Yeah.
I'm trying to think, who has Kentucky played?
Well, they played. I mean, South Carolina last week, but South Carolina killed them in Kentucky, 31-6, I think it was. Yeah, 9. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was pretty bad, 31-6.
Yeah. So South Carolina covered the spread if it was 22.5, and I think Georgia's going to do it too.
Okay.
Because Kentucky, I watched some of that game. They didn't look like they could move the ball on Gladewell Elementary. No, so yeah, I'm Georgia.
You're gonna be sad when there's a little Gladeville Elementary team that goes to some kind of mini league championship. Is there even a children's league football championship?
No, there's not Gladewell. I actually went to a Gladeville Middle School game last night, though, and they won.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe
Shout
they've got
out
some
to
good football
Gladeville
players down
Middle.
there.
That's
Okay.
where my daughter goes.
Of course it is. Here we go.
All right,
We're
moving
gonna,
on.
we're gonna move on.
Yeah, because, I mean, do we need to talk about Georgia and Kentucky?
It's just about as much as we need to talk about New Mexico Lobos versus Auburn Tigers.
Oh, before we get too
let
far.
that thing play out, man. You gotta let that thing play. You can't be cutting us off.
Yeah. Y'all can. I keep cutting y'all off. Laugh it up.
Now bring it down that way.
Laugh
there you
it
go. There
up.
you go. Bring it down
No,
that
it's
way.
real people. You gotta let. There's people out there.
I know
in
that
the audience.
audience.
I can't move them. I can't tell them.
The audience in this little 10x10 studio.
Yeah. We're in a,
High top
we're in a
Scott
theater,
social
man.
media
Yeah.
studios.
We're in a theater, not a 5-foot studio.
I'm glad
Closet.
you keep dreaming. Glad you keep dreaming. New Mexico
no,
Lobos.
but-
I don't even. They're 0-2.
Hold on. There's a couple tidbits that I forgot. Going back to Vanderbilt, do you know that this week they received 18 votes to be in the top 25?
What?
Yep. Pretty cool. I looked that up.
You sure
The
that wasn't the
AP top
Was that
25?
the coach and his wife and?
No, it wasn't the coaches poll. It was the AP top 25, so the Associated Press. Now it might be.
Now that would just put him in the top 25.
Yeah. 18 votes to be in the top 25. So there, we got that going
Well, I
for
mean
us.
they're 2-0, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they did Virginia Tech. right?
Evidently, the win beating Virginia Tech was big in people's eyes.
And I can see that.
So
How big, I don't know. But
yeah, because Virginia Tech may not win it. They won last week, but they might not win another. You know, if Virginia
knows?
Tech goes like 4-8, then it's not that impressive. But I think
I'd like
it is
to have
at this
positive
point.
hope for Vanderbilt.
no,
We've talked about Vanderbilt way too much, though. The
Sorry.
Lobos.
Sorry, they're doing good.
I'm trying to think. Lobos here. That's New Mexico.
They get killed. Auburn, Auburn's down, but I think they. What's the 28?
That's a pretty big spread. I'm going to pick Auburn to win it, but I don't think they're going to beat the spread.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
And I'm trying
They'll
to think
win.
who all they've actually played.
They got beat by Cal last week.
Is Cal any good though?
They're in the Pac-6.
I didn't get a chance to Pac-6.
That's about all that's left, ain't it?
Cal is not part of that. Cal is now in like the Big Ten, I thought.
Oh, did they move with UCLA?
Big Ten or Big 12, I thought.
There's been too much change, man. I don't like it. I can't keep up.
No. They were previously a member of the Pac-12.
So
they are
they
now
did
part of
move.
the ACC.
Good gosh, coast to coast.
Yeah, the Atlantic Coast Conference is now the Atlantic Coast Conference with California teams.
Yeah.
These conferences are going to have to reevaluate their lives.
Yeah, coast to coast. We love California Golden Bears the most.
No.
That's my new
Anyway,
cheer.
So, but I mean, when we look at Cal, who else did they play?
I don't know. Yeah.
They beat UC Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Who's Auburn's coach right now?
I don't know. I hadn't. This year is the first year I've kept up with football in 2 years.
Yeah, you've been too busy running around doing
Travel softball.
travel softball. Yep.
I can name you every team in Middle Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, 14U, but I can't tell you who the Auburn head coach is.
That's who it was. Hugh Freeze. I knew there was something relevant.
That's right.
Hugh Freeze came over from Liberty.
Well, previously at Ole Miss.
Hugh Freeze was also at Ole Miss.
Yeah. Because he done some things at Ole Miss that he shouldn't have done.
He made a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah.
And I think Liberty saw it as he was going to be a changed man.
Well, it is a Christian school. So, where are we at? Auburn. Yeah, he's at Auburn. Spread's 28. We picked Auburn to win, but not necessarily cover.
Yeah, I don't think Auburn's going to cover.
Do we think New Mexico's good, or we just don't think Auburn's not that great?
I don't think Auburn's good enough to cover by 28.
Okay.
I mean, what are you saying? You think they're going to cover? I mean,
No, well, not to keep talking about Vandy, but
I mean,
thinking-
Auburn. So Auburn did beat Alabama A&M 73-3.
okay. Who's Alabama A&M?
I think that's a traditionally black.
It is HB. It's HBCU.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I mean, I anybody who's going to score 73 points on anybody.
They gave up 3 though. Vanderbilt didn't give up any. Mic drop if I had one to drop, but it's not mine. Yeah. I don't know. We may be wrong on Auburn, though. They may cover. I don't know anything about New Mexico. I don't think they're very good at all.
They're 0-2. They've lost to everybody and their brother apparently. So,
Yeah. So,
it's still
but I
early.
still
I'm
me
talking
and you
about a
both.
28 point cover though.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win, but not cover.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick 27.
Hey, that
Remember,
that
we're going to play our
works. Yeah.
prices right.
Okay, I'll pick 29 then. They do cover, so I'm taking Auburn. I'm now an Auburn fan.
There you go. Good
My
job.
cousin,
Be a Hugh Freeze fan.
my cousin works at Auburn.
Your cousin works at Auburn?
I think she's a
kidding me.
professor.
Your cousin is a professor at Auburn. How old is she?
Her daughter just turned 1. She's
So
man,
she's young.
I do not want to. 20. I don't want to say she's 30. I don't want to say she's older than she is.
She's younger than you.
Oh yeah, by far. Oh yeah, she may be in her 30s because I'm 46 now, and she was about 13. She may be. God, time
She's
flies.
still a young whippersnapper, but she's a professor at Auburn.
Yeah, she's very smart.
Man, that ain't no joke.
Smarter than her brother. I had to say that because anytime I can dig in him,
Yeah, he'll probably listen to this later and hate you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
he can't fish either. All right, sorry.
Mississippi State versus Toledo Rockets. Toledo Rockets. I
Hey.
think isn't there an elementary school in Mount Juliet that's the Rockets? Maybe this
Yeah,
will be
Rutland.
Rutland Elementary Rockets.
Hey, Toledo's 2-0, by the way. Now, who have they beaten? I don't know. Mississippi State's down. Now, how down are they? I don't know.
1-1. Who'd they lose to?
It's right there. Arizona State last week.
Oh, and there's Toledo's little schedule there too, huh?
Yeah, they. I'm gonna say Mississippi State wins. What's the spread? Mississippi State 10.5 favorites. Because
Toledo has won convincingly twice.
yeah. All right. Who have they played? Name those teams.
UMass, University of Massachusetts. Now Duquesne. I didn't even know how to pronounce Duquesne.
UMass hasn't done anything in college sports since Marcus Camby was there and John Calipari, which was like 90s.
But they're Minutemen. I mean, geez.
Yeah. They're in the game for a minute, and then next thing you know, it's 50-2.
Okay.
Mississippi State covers, even though I think they're down.
It's by 10. I think they'll cover.
Yeah, I do
I'll
too.
pick they'll cover. I'll pick them.
This is like a Vanderbilt, Georgia State, 10.5.
It is,
Mississippi
isn't it?
State covers. Yeah,
It is,
I bet Toledo's. I would like to see Toledo and Georgia State play. That would answer a lot of questions.
Okay, moving on.
Yep. Ooh. This is, I mean,
The spread on this is 49.
yeah.
Tennessee's got to score 49 to take the spread. It is Tennessee though. I mean, they like to score.
They're scoring, and I think
You think they're gonna
Heupel
take the
is
spread?
proven. Yeah, I'll take 49. I'll be crazy.
Wow.
No, yeah.
That's a pretty big step.
Well,
I mean, I'm a Tennessee fan, so I'm
they
gonna do
beat
that because I'm a
UT
Tennessee
Chattanooga
fan.
69-3.
It's UT Chattanooga. Of course, this is Kent State Golden Flashes, whatever that is.
Oh, is that like lightning?
It looks like it. I guess that's what they're. It looks like an eagle with lightning on its
But look,
tail.
I can't imagine they're going to score many points on UT. So unless they take their foot off the gas, I mean, UT could. The game could be 49-0. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They scored 51 on North Carolina State.
Yeah. I mean that. Yeah.
I would say North Carolina State's offense is better than Kent State.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, well.
Tennessee's not really seen a challenge yet.
Well,
You know what, they're
people
playing
thought
Oklahoma
North.
next. Oklahoma is going to beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think so. I think Tennessee. Obviously I'm not a UT fan, but I think they're different with Heupel. It's different.
It's different.
And I think
Nico's good, man.
Yeah.
Nico's a good ball player. I mean,
Yeah.
he knows how to throw the ball. At some of the stuff that the places he was putting that ball. I don't know if you watched any of that game.
No, I'm not a UT fan.
He's got some very precise, and I think his stats are even better than Peyton Manning's stats.
What? Okay, hold on.
I'm just talking about in the first couple games.
Well, yeah,
He
because
was
they
like-
played. Look who they played.
But I mean, I think it was like 20 something out of 28 or something, like 25 out of 28 passes.
No, yeah, he's good, but let's calm down with the Peyton Manning talk.
Yeah, he hadn't played anybody real yet.
Yeah.
We'll see. He did look a little flimsy at the end of one of the halves. So
Yeah, they're good, but let's just pump the brakes on Peyton Manning. Jeez. Not there yet.
Peyton's one of the best players ever in history.
That's what I'm saying. And you're already saying Nico last
I'm
name I
not
can't
s-
even pronounce.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's better than Peyton. I'm saying his numbers look better.
Well, okay, Peyton, if you put him in pads against Chattanooga, he'd throw 18 touchdowns today.
Let's see here.
And he's 40 my age.
I'm curious about his pass completion ratio in Tennessee. He had a 62% completion ratio. That's going to include all the games that were
Yeah,
hard games. as well as
Nico's played
easy
2 games, and you're comparing him to Peyton Manning. Oh my God, this guy taught algebra to high school. No wonder that math has gone down in this world.
Nico's at a 74.5%.
Oh my gosh, he's thrown 2 interceptions.
He did. He has had more interceptions than Peyton typically. But those two
He's played 2
interceptions,
games.
those two interceptions though were. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying he's not good, but I'm just
He's
saying,
got a long ways to go, and he hadn't played
Yeah.
any serious teams yet. So,
like, compare him to, like, Eric Ainge or something. Not. He's
well, he
not
blows
the-
Eric Ainge out of the water.
Well, yeah,
I'm trying to think.
but
I'm
you
trying to
just
think of
jumped.
yeah, it's a pretty big jump.
It's like you're a 5-year-old, and I took you to the swimming pool, and you're like, I want to go to the top and jump off the platform 40 foot in the air. And I'm like, son, let's go to the low dive first. And you're like, no. That's what you did.
Eric Ainge.
He was Danny Ainge's cousin. Played for the Celtics.
I miss
Or no, not cousin, nephew or something.
45% pass
Oh,
completion.
he's awful. Well, I'm just saying, take baby steps. Go the low dive first, then the medium dive, then the high dive, and then the platforms at Olympic.
Who would you
jump.
say out of all the Tennessee quarterbacks that were the medium?
Eric Ainge just was the first one that popped into my head. I didn't want to say T. Martin because I wasn't ready to get him up there. He's like high dive. I'm not.
T. Martin's pass completion ratio was 42%.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but he won a national championship.
That's true. It's more than Peyton did.
I know. And you're wanting to put Nick, like, let Nico earn it, and then we'll talk about it. And then I'll say you were right, Jared.
Trying to think who were the other big name quarterbacks at Tennessee.
I don't know. What was the guy? He always put his helmet on. He had a crease right here. Clausen. Casey Clausen.
Casey Clausen.
His face bothered me. That little, when he put his helmet on. I didn't like that crease in his nose. 62.
Wow.
See?
He had a good pass completion ratio.
But are you just talking about overall or completion?
No,
and he's only
just-
played 2 games.
It just shocked me. He was like, I think at the half, at that early on, he was like 20 for 20 or something at one point.
Okay. And if I go and
But
play
I
against
guess if you play against
Gladeville Elementary, I'll go 20 for 20 and probably run for 112 yards. So just, I'm not saying he's not good.
You're saying there's nothing been proven yet.
Yeah, let's just let him build his case.
Okay, so let's
Look,
look.
1%. The coach's wife didn't even vote for him at Kent State.
Oh, it wasn't the coach that voted.
Or the coach didn't vote for himself. His wife was like, honey, I think you could do it. And he's
you
like,
could
no.
do it.
He voted against himself. 1% think Kent State's going to win. And that was the coach's wife.
That's,
All right, yeah, Tennessee covers everything you want them to cover. They do. That's what I say.
So looking ahead, right? So we're in week 3,
Yeah.
and we got all these teams that.
Was that the last game?
That was the last game.
Oh, we ended on your favorite.
I don't know that yeah, it is. We ended on my favorite.
Didn't you go there? No.
I did go there, yep.
Oh.
I was there with Peyton Manning. So
Were you really? Did you ever
guess-
see him on
I
campus?
guess I shouldn't be mean. I think we were at a couple parties together.
Huh.
Too much fun times. That's why I'm not a good math teacher, I guess.
Well, you did go to Vanderbilt, or was that like an online, like?
No, that was a full-blown MBA from the Owen School, so I had to work my tail off for that one.
Well, look at this guy.
A little hard work.
Oh, that deserves this. Vandy grad here. I don't even think I can be in the same room as you.
Yeah, don't be pumping me up too much. It's just a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Okay. So looking ahead.
Yeah.
I'd like to look ahead. Let's see.
All right.
Is that you or me?
I don't know.
It's you. Mama's calling.
No, that ain't me.
Okay, so looking ahead. So who are the teams? If we say, hey, these are teams we should be looking for, Michael, what are you thinking? Out of all the teams, you say, hey, here are the folks that are going to be contending for SEC championship, national championship. I know we haven't really talked about this any, and this may change week to week.
But right now, you want me to I'll give you my 3.
Yeah.
3, we want to do 3, or how many you want to? My 3, right off the top of my head: Georgia, Texas, Tennessee.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Putting Tennessee in the top 3.
Yep.
So you're not going to put Alabama up there, huh?
No, I'm not.
And you're not going to put Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss up there. Because if you look at the
No,
rankings,
no.
they're not putting Tennessee up that high.
Did you? I know. Did you know right now, 6 of the first 7 teams ranked in the top 7 are SEC.
I did not
6
realize that.
of the top 7 are SEC. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what Ohio State's in there too.
they're third. It's I think it's Georgia 1, Texas 2, Ohio State 3.
I should have had this up.
Yeah, 4 was. I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that.
Dropped the ball on this. Should have had this.
Yeah, the top 25. But yeah, if I'm not wrong, I even wrote it down in my Michael Vick
Oh, I
playbook.
trust you. I trust you there, Michael Vick.
6 SEC teams in the top 7. 8, but only 8 in the top 25. So there's only 2 more after that.
We're looking at AP top 25.
Yeah, AP top 25.
So we got
Oh yeah, they got Missouri. Yeah, Alabama's 4, Ole Miss 5, Missouri 6.
I still don't think
And-
Missouri deserves that.
No, I don't either. So you agree with me that Tennessee should be above them, and I think Tennessee should be above Ole Miss at this point.
I don't know. Is that even on the schedule to happen? I don't think that's
No,
on the
UT
schedule to
Ole Miss. That would be a fun game this year. I bet the over under, if we were, I'm not Vegas, but I'd almost put it at like 80 points, maybe even higher. 90. Ole Miss and Tennessee scoring.
I mean, Tennessee's schedule, really, if you look down the line, the only tests are really going to be what? Alabama and Georgia, right? I don't think Arkansas is going to be a test.
Well, you got to say next week but it's still
It's
Oklahoma.
at
I know I
Oklahoma,
talk,
right?
yeah, and I talk like they're down, but it's still going at Oklahoma. Historically, Oklahoma, is Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. But, yeah,
Still not used to that one. But
Oklahoma, Alabama, and Georgia. So, and they'll be fired up. Alabama's coming into Knoxville. That will be,
that'll be a big game.
yeah.
I think we've actually got tickets to the Vandy game that weekend.
Who's Vandy play that weekend?
That's a nobody game.
Kentucky.
No, it's Ball State.
Oh, I can't read. I told you. I don't read well.
Because I tried to talk my brother-in-law into going, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna be at the Tennessee game." I said, "Well, that's too expensive for my taste."
Yeah, but that'll be a fun game. Although I don't like UT.
It'd be a big game to be at.
Yeah, it would be fun to
game.
be there.
Anytime Tennessee plays Alabama, even back in the day when it was a one-sided matchup, because there was a lot of people don't remember this, but there was a time when, back in the '90s, when the Alabama matchup meant nothing.
Because Alabama was winning all the time.
No, because Alabama was losing all the time.
Oh.
That was
Oh,
back in
okay.
the '90s. That was back when Florida was the team to beat.
Yeah, no. In
That
the
was the
90s, the
Spurs
Tennessee
Spurs era.
Florida matchup in the 90s was
That was the game to win.
it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That was the one that I want to say Peyton couldn't beat Florida. I think that was the one team that Peyton struggled to win against.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's my 3 right now. Obviously, it could change. If we do this again next week, it may already change. But, yeah, that's what I think right now. The old
Tennessee's playing
SEC.
Georgia in Athens. Whew.
Yeah, yeah,
That'll be a tough one to win.
yeah, that'll be real
They're going to
tough.
have to build a lot of momentum before that happens. Thankfully, it's at the end of the season, near the end.
Yeah, that might be their only. I mean, I think Tennessee only loses 2 at the most.
So you're picking Tennessee to lose what? Georgia and Alabama?
Georgia, well, I don't know.
It's too early.
Maybe not. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying at the most I see them only losing 2.
So you think Tennessee maybe faces off against Georgia in the SEC championship?
Possible.
Because that's possible now. Because it wouldn't have been possible before, right?
it's possible,
In
but
the
I mean,
division play, it would have never happened.
yeah. No, you're right. But I mean, does Texas and Georgia play? Because if Texas and Georgia go undefeated,
that'd be Texas.
Yeah. Do they play each other in the regular season? No.
Let's see here. Texas is.
Yeah. Oh no, they do.
Yeah, Texas is going to be
Ooh.
facing Georgia, but Georgia will be playing Texas in Austin.
Ooh, that'll be a pretty good
Speaking
game.
of Texas, let's look at Texas's schedule while we're at it, because
Yeah.
that's an interesting conversation to have. Because are they going to be sitting pretty at this point? Right? They beat Michigan, right? And now are they going to face Alabama? No.
No, the only,
They're going to face Oklahoma.
yeah, I think they beat them. That's right before Georgia, unless they're looking ahead to
They're going to face
Georgia.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, no, I don't even. Don't go to that game. Take Texas and whatever spread they give them. I'll say it right now. I'll take Texas on the spread at Vanderbilt.
You're going to pick it this early, huh?
Yeah, and I love Vanderbilt, but I'm not stupid. I mean, I can't read well, but
So, but I mean, if you look down their schedule, right, Texas A&M and Georgia's all there is going to be on there, and Texas A&M. Trying to think,
oh no, though.
they're not even going to be anything
We'll
worth
take
talking
care of
about neither.
Texas, but yeah, no, I think Georgia's their biggest. I mean, but Texas Oklahoma's always been a rival, so you still have to.
Got to take that into account.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, did we look at Oklahoma's ranking?
Which I know this is way off topic, but when you're speaking rivals, because all these conference changes, it's messed up rival week. And the reason I say that, and I wanted to bring this up because, and not that they're big rivals, but Washington State play each other this week. Typically, at the very end of the year, the last game, like the last 2 weeks of the college season, is your rival week. Remember rivalry? I can't even say that word. Remember that week at the end? It'd be Tennessee, Vanderbilt, of course,
Usually it was Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and that rivalry.
Florida,
didn't
Florida
matter.
State, Alabama, Auburn, the
Was that
Iron Bowl,
last week was all
Michigan,
the big-
Ohio State. Yeah,
the big
all your big
rivalries.
rivals. Well, and including even like what? So Washington State are playing this week. Oregon State's playing this week.
Yeah, because they all don't hit on that rival weekend anymore.
I know it's messed it all up. They used to all play like the Apple Cup is Washington State. Oregon State is like some I don't know tree stump or something. But
You said Oregon. Now you got me curious.
no, it is something. I can't remember. It's not the Axe. That's Wisconsin. Paul Bunyan's Axe is Wisconsin and somebody. But the Civil War. There you go.
Civil War.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Oh, they no longer call it the Civil War?
Yeah, that's not appropriate. I'm
What?
sure that's
It's a game. It's fun. Well, still
that's an
though,
inappropriate statement.
isn't that weird though that like it messes up some and there was another game I was looking in my book
So
here.
do they get something for the Civil War? Formerly known
Bragging
as the
rights.
Civil War. Does it? But I mean, a lot of these have like a weird.
Yeah, I
weird
think there's a
trophy.
trophy, but the platypus
The
trophy.
platypus trophy.
Dude, that's awesome. I wish I could win a platypus trophy.
What was that? What's that? In there, cartoon with the platypus in it. What is that cartoon? I've watched too many kids shows.
But yeah, I
Harry the
thought,
platypus.
huh?
That is one
That is
ugly
cool.
looking trophy.
Yeah, but they love it. They want to win it. I thought there was another rivalry this week, but I guess it's just them two. But it caught me. I was like, man, that's weird.
Well, there was a lot of. I thought there was a lot of rivalries.
But
on
they
there
were
last
all at the
weekend.
end of the year. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah, I
the
do remember
in-state
that.
stuff like that. And Utah State is this week too. Not that that's huge, but it was always at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, that was another one of the end of the years. Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about this week's rivalries that are happening this week instead of when they're
Right,
supposed
they're
to.
all playing them now at the beginning of the year, third weekend, and you got to play. You know, like I don't know.
Well,
About to wrap it up, huh?
yep. So I'm
was
sitting here
fun.
thinking, let's take a look real quick. Looking down the rankings, you had said that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's Penn State.
Yep. Top 7, 6 of the top 7's SEC.
Oregon. Miami.
and then 3 Big Tens and 1 ACC
Big
in the
Ten.
top 10.
Yep. Because you got
Ohio
Ohio State
State.
up here. Yep.
Penn State and Oregon now is Big Ten. That's weird to say.
Yeah, it's weird saying that USC is Big Ten too.
I know it. So
And Utah. I'm trying to even think who Utah plays. Big 12 now is Oklahoma State, Utah.
yeah, they
Kansas
beat
State.
Baylor last week, not yesterday, last week.
So this brings up another conversation because I've heard from a lot of people who say they think that this is eventually going to go to 2 conferences. Eventually, we're just going to see like AFC, NFC, and the
Yep.
NFL. We're
I-
going to see now SEC, Big Ten, and that's it.
I could see that, yeah. I might have been one of those people you were talking to. Did I say that? I've said it to somebody.
Might have been.
I don't know.
I've heard a few people say this,
Well,
and I don't
add me to that group.
That really, once you start the regional thing, I thought was a big deal. SEC thankfully has stayed regional, but if you look at
Well,
ACC,
they're creeping out. But
yeah, but
only
it's one thing to creep out. It's another thing to go all the way across the country.
No, you're right. But the other ones are doing it just because they're like, oh my gosh, the SEC just got.
And the
They're-
Big Ten is no longer 10. So
No, yeah.
this is why I say they need to reevaluate their life. The ACC is no longer the Atlantic Coast Conference. Maybe you could say the All Coast Conference. I don't know, something.
I truly think, now how many years down the road, I don't know, 5, 10, I think it'll go to more of an NFL type, 2 big conferences. They'll take 8 teams out of each conference, 16-team playoff, and there you go. And then the bowl games will be left for everybody else.
All the non-two big conferences.
Yeah. And Vanderbilt. Because I
Well-
don't know if they'll ever make a 16-team playoff.
You want to close this out with a little bit of music there, Michael?
Yeah. It's been fun. I liked it. Hey, we got to don't you got to say, we got to take us out, say, hey, this has been good, put an ending.
It's been a
Yes.
great show, Michael.
A story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you didn't want to end. Algebra.
That's what
Good
happens
God.
when you teach algebra, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. All of you 0 people that have viewed our show.
Yeah, but maybe you'll catch this and
I don't think we
be
actually let
entertained.
anybody know that we were going to do this live.
No.
So maybe
We'll
next
have to-
time we'll have some audience. I know
Yeah.
we'll have some call-ins.
Well, let's put this up. Maybe somebody will find it entertaining. Or no one will, and we had fun, and that's all that matters.
Maybe next time I'll actually have the green screens working properly. So
That's right. All right. See y'all. Or see nobody.
see nobody. Did you just say see nobody?
Yeah, end it. You gotta end it, man.